financial skullduggery and accounting fraud. Just to get back to the article I was quoting a moment ago about Citigroup, they reported they got $346 billion of capital from the government. They went on, which accounted for 25% of their quarterly net income, thanks to a rule change in their accounting, and then another $2.7 billion before taxes came from an accounting rule that lets the company record income when the value of its own debt fails. So the company is trading with itself, and
they're buying their own debt and calling it a profit, like Treasury and Federal Reserve selling each other debt. This is the snake eating its tail situation. So they're in flames, calling it record profit, in delusion, with idiots buying the stock in the stock market just as delusional.
It's like an arsonist getting paid in charcoal.
Oh, that's funny.
So these guys are trading with themselves. So they're ramping up the accounting fraud because the era of the Bush era, Bush was very simple. He's a very simple program. To defend the dollar, we're going to go invade a country and kill a lot of people. But that era is over. Now we're entering an era of more of this accounting fraud and financial engineering. So what that means to the people on the street, people in their day-to-day lives, is that you're going to see more volatility. You're going to see the prices of things on various markets around the world
up and down.
Are going to become more volatile. So the
boing,
stock
boing,
market,
boing, boing.
I'm sorry?
Pogo sticking.
Yeah, more of this pogo stick action. So the stock market, bond market, precious metal markets, commodity markets, you're going to see a lot more what you would call beta, a lot more volatility, a lot more action, a lot more ups and downs, and more of a roller coaster ride, which of course is great if you're on the inside, like a Goldman Sachs banker, or someone who's on the inside of Wall Street, who knows has experience, and they can profit from this volatility. But for most people, it's scary, and they're on this roller coaster of volatility with prices of the markets are going up and down in hugely exaggerated ways.
And that's going to kill Main Street, is it not? That's going to kill Main Street further.
Well, yeah, it'll keep people. It will force people in the lowest possible return investments because they are perceived as safe. But, of course, those investments are merely the feeder funds for the big profitable trades that are done on Wall Street. So
they're going to buy government bonds.
Quarantined, if you will. Their investments are going to be in these, making 0.5%. Meanwhile, inflation will be raging. But they'll be so frightened to put any capital to work in something that might benefit it from inflation, like precious metals or commodities, because the volatility will be so outrageous. So they're going to be cowering in the corner with their 0.5% or 1% CD. And meanwhile, the professionals on Wall Street are going to be racking up 20, 30, 40% annual gains by gaming the system and taking advantage of this incredible volatility.
Because that's where the money is when things are going up and down, because they're engineering it. They know how to place the bets because the dice are totally loaded. Long segment coming up with Max Keiser and your calls. Max, tell us more about what you see in the future politically when we get back.
Are you tired of losing your hard-earned savings in retirement? Does the continued loss of purchasing power through the hidden tax of inflation brought on by trillions of dollars in government bailouts bother you? Then please let me, Dwayne Daly with Midas Resources, help you to protect what you have left. Call me at 800-686-2237 extension 115, and I will explain to you how to retain your wealth and purchasing power now and in the future with gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a form of currency for 6,000 years compared to our present fiat currency, which has only been in existence for 38 years and failing fast. Call me, Dwayne Daly, at 800-686-2237 extension 115 to start your protection of wealth today. I will custom fit the protection package to your personal needs. No amount is too small, so start today. Call Dwayne Daly with Midas Resources at 800-686-2237 extension 115 for your gold and silver protection portfolio.
Good old Max Keiser. MaxKeiser.com is our guest. We're going back to him in just a moment. I have some big breaking news. And it's not just that H.R. 1207 to audit the private criminal Federal Reserve. That is the shadow government. That is the problem. I mean, if they get 22 more sponsors, they can pass it. I mean, this is a done deal if we just believe in it behind it. And so there's some breaking news. The Federal Reserve is striking back. We'll break this news. This just came out in the last few minutes. I want to get Kurt Nimmo or Steve Watson or both to do a Friday report on this, because this is, the good news is we blew up the Death Star. We're very close to it. The bad news is the Empire striking back. So we'll get Max Keiser's take on this breaking news in one moment. This just came out in the last 30 minutes. Earlier today it came out there's 190 co-sponsors to audit the private Fed. People go, abolish it first. Ron Paul's a traitor. Ron Paul has a bill to abolish the private Federal Reserve. But he figured out a few years ago the best way to do it is to demand an audit, which everybody wants to know. The public, Congress always asks Bernanke, where's the money? He laughs at him and says, I'm above the law. Greenspan goes on Lair NewsHour and says it's in the Obama deception, saying they're above the law. So this is something that has a chance to pass. See, if we can get the door open off the castle, we can go in and throw the bums out. But we got to blow the door off the hinges first. That's what this is. Okay, so this is reality. We're moving forward. We're having a shot at this, at winning. But what does the Federal Reserve do? Well, I want to tell you. The Fed has sent out tens of thousands of bureaucrats. They are paying school teachers and professors from every major university I know of. Right here in Texas, I see it in the news. They pay the universities grants and pay thousands of dollars a year to bring the professors in to pay them to go out and teach the Federal Reserve's good, the bailout's good, the banker takeover is good, because they're engaged in a coup through Northcom, but not just of the U.S., of the world. They admit it's a new bank of the world run by them. We pay carbon taxes to. So Fed intends to hire lobbyists and campaign to buttress its image. Not only do they have these armies of lobbyists they're paying on the grassroots, they now are saying in Bloomberg, they're going to lobby to fix their image in Congress. Bull. You read deeper, it's to lobby against being audited in H.R. 1207. They've never been audited. They have a fake audit where they audit the chairs and pencils, but not where the money goes. And Obama promised every dime of the bailout and every dime of the stimulus would be accounted for. Now it's a state secret. So the people that ran Bush run Obama. Max Keiser. Federal Reserve intends to hire a veteran lobbyist and seeks to counter skepticism in Congress about the central bank's growing power over the U.S. financial system. Now, they tried the mind trick of saying we're above the law, Mount Olympus in the clouds, you mere mortals are down there. Now Congress is becoming contemptuous of the godlike criminal bankers. Now their facade of infallibility and Zeusness is evaporating, and they're now dispatching hordes of minions everywhere. I think we got a chance to literally arrest these bastards. Max Keiser, what say ye?
Well, the thing is, if you audit the Fed, it's the same thing as abolishing the Fed, because there's nothing in the Fed. The Fed has swapped all of their treasury paper for all this worthless, toxic assets that we've been talking about that they are trying to, quote, mark to market and give a fictional value to. But if you actually do a Ron Paul-style audit and apply real value, you will find that the value is zero. So by auditing the Fed, it's the same thing as abolishing the Fed, because the Fed has nothing. Now, I'll tell you something that is very interesting, Alex Jones. The Fed, of course, and the Treasury are the purveyors of U.S. Treasury bonds. It is a well-known fact within the banking circles that for many years, the big banks on the street, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, have sold Treasury bonds, that they had no authority to do so, that they have in fact counterfeited those bonds or sold naked short selling of Treasury bonds that do not actually exist. If you're going to audit the Fed, that means you're going to have to audit the New York Fed, where Geithner was before he joined the Treasury Department.
Yeah, that's the head of the snake for those that don't know.
And if you're going to do that, then you've got to also pursue this all the way to the fact, and, I don't want to, blow your head off or anything, but all the records for the SEC to account for all these naked short-selling
Building 7.
Bonds. That's right.
I'm afraid they were blown up. Oh.
That's where it all goes. That's where the SEC, all those records were in that depository. And, as I've always said since 9/12, that the Twin Towers were merely a cover for the true target that day were those SEC records that were held in Building 7. Now, something else that's interesting.
Well, let me stop you. I've noticed the elites pathologically love to do things that help them on win. Insurance fraud, be able to invade countries, police state. But you're absolutely right. So, but what I'm saying is people will find out it's only a front for the private Federal Reserve owner banks and families and all the scams. Exactly. If you're able to ever audit them, and even trying to audit them and them fighting and covering up and acting suspicious, Ron Paul said on the show he knows his life is in danger doing this. And then meanwhile, our whining, pathetic patriot movement whines and bitches that he isn't doing enough. I mean, it's just mental illness. But sorry, Max, go ahead.